Welcome to Bed Crime Stories podcast. I'm your host, T. I do hope you're having a wonderful day so far. I'm calling this case The Real Estate Tycoon and His Missing Wife. They're a handsome couple living the good life in Olmos Park, a town in Texas surrounded by the city of San Antonio. Olmos Park is famous for its oak-lined streets, stately mansions, old money, and tight-knit community. It's a safe place, except for the gossip that floats in the air like fireflies on a hot summer night. 51-year-old Suzanne Clark Simpson is a luxury real estate agent at Nick's Realty Company in San Antonio. She's also a devoted mother to her 4 children and is very involved in their school and their sports activities. At 5 feet 5 inches tall and 140 pounds, with brown highlighted hair and hazel eyes, she's got trophy bride looks. Now, on the evening of Sunday, October 6, 2024, Suzanne and her 53-year-old property tycoon husband, Brad Simpson, attend a party at a private dinner club known as the Argyle in the Alamo Heights neighborhood of San Antonio. The party takes place between 6 and 9 p.m. It's close to their $1.5 million home in the 500 block of East Olmos Drive near Shook Avenue. Suzanne is wearing a black dress with tan-colored heels. After the party, Suzanne and Brad head home. At approximately 9 p.m., Suzanne calls her mother to say that her husband Brad had used DV against her. Specifically, he'd injured her arm and back, and this happened at around 9 p.m. So that would have been right around when they were leaving the party. Which makes me wonder, did Suzanne want to leave the party? And did Brad not want to leave at that time? Just me speculating. Sometime between 10 and 11 p.m., one of the Simpsons' neighbors hears screams. He looks out a window and spots Suzanne and Brad in a physical altercation outside their home. The neighbor sees Brad grab Suzanne and try to, quote, gain control of her body, as he was clearly attempting to keep Mrs. Simpson from running away, end quote. The neighbor watches as the couple walks westbound. Now, this neighbor feels concerned, so he heads outside to see what's going on. A short time later, he hears 2 to 3 screams coming from a wooded area east of his house. Naturally, all of this unsettles him. About an hour later, at just around midnight, the neighbor sees Brad get into his black GMC pickup truck and drive away. Either an hour or 2 later, the neighbor couldn't be sure, he hears Brad pull into the driveway. After that, there's just the silence of night. Sunday turns into Monday. Monday morning turns into Monday afternoon. At 3 p.m., Brad Simpson receives a call from one of his kids' schools saying that the child hasn't been picked up. Usually, Suzanne is the person who picks the child up from school, and she's a very reliable mother, so this is rather upsetting. Late Monday afternoon, Brad reports Suzanne missing, and the Texas Department of Public Safety issues a clear alert for her. The clear alert is used for missing or nabbed adults who are believed to be in imminent danger. Monday turns into Tuesday. On Tuesday afternoon, law enforcement interviews the staff of one of the Simpsons' children's schools. The child had shared things with the staff on the afternoon the mother failed to turn up, and the child tells the staff that her parents were, quote, fighting, and her father hit her mother in the face and took her cell phone. The child goes on to describe the impact, leading her mother to hit the wall. The child also recalls seeing a bruised elbow after Brad Simpson fails to appear for a follow-up interview with the cops. An arrest warrant is issued for him. It turns out Brad went to his Bandera County ranch and appears to be separating himself from his family. He's arrested off Interstate 10 East on a frontage road in Kendall County. Brad Simpson is promptly booked into the Kendall County Jail and is charged with DV, leading to bodily injury, family violence, and unlawful restraint. His bond is set at $1 million for each charge, so he ends up with a total of $2 million in bond. Remember, this guy is a real estate tycoon. I can't help thinking about Jennifer Dulos and her husband. They too were a wealthy couple. He was also into real estate. The Olmos Police Department then holds a press conference. They announce Brad Simpson's arrest, but state that he is not a suspect in his wife's disappearance at this time.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to...
Okay.
Good afternoon. I'm just going to provide a brief update on the missing person situation we have. What it is we have a video from Suzanne Simpson, from Sunday night, and we're going to post it presently. Right now, we're posting it. DPSPIO is posting that as we speak. We wanted to get that out to you because of what she's wearing, and we're still hoping that some of the public might have seen her wearing what she's wearing in that photo. We have a picture here. We're going to pass that to you, but please check as it's going out from the DPSPIO, and we want everybody to see and check that photo and see if they've seen this young lady or not. Still have not heard from her, and we still do not know where she is. If you have some questions, I'll do my best briefly.
Chief, what is currently going on here at this location? It has seemed like there's been less activity as the days have gone on.
There's less activity now because we have limited resources, and we will activate more searches here as needed. But right now, we're doing more things, writing search warrants and doing various things like that.
Have you been able to search inside the home?
We have, and we do have some possible evidence, but it takes so long sometimes to analyze that evidence. So we don't have any results back from anything there yet.
You have the clothes, and you want people to look for the clothes, but have you gathered any other evidence that you want people to say, this might help us?
Yes, well, that clothing, in the instance that maybe she was missing, that she's still missing, and she was seen on Sunday, since Sunday night, we want people to have seen that photo and say, you know what, I think we saw her. And maybe she's in that same clothing. We don't know. Maybe she was in distress. We don't know that. But we want the public to have seen her and say, I recognize her.
What about cell phone records? You found her phone. Do you have his phone? Is there anything in the pings that would tell people anywhere that they ought to be looking in a certain area for something that might help you?
No, we don't have her phone. We would love to have her phone, as I mentioned yesterday. We do have electronic opportunities, and that's what we're writing different warrants for, but those take so much time. And we are trying all electronic devices, as you can imagine, very common nowadays, to try to get information from them. And that's what we're trying. We're trying every avenue. But in the case that somebody has seen her and she's in distress, that night we think she was in distress. She may be somewhere and we just don't know about it. It's very suspicious, though, that obviously she's not going to work and she's not checking in on her children. So that's obvious. That's an obvious problem. But at the same time, we don't want to miss an opportunity to say, hey, this is what she looks like. Maybe somebody out there knows where she is, or she's hiding away or something. So that's why we're showing you the clothing.
Do you know where we got that video from?
That's from the Argyle Club in Alamo Heights, outside of it.
Brad Simpson, any more charges we can expect against him from any other agencies?
Well, not from any other agencies that I know of, but of course we are looking at any possible charges that we might have. Right now, we don't have other charges except for those two.
Is there a possibility that those charges would be escalated since he was moved from Kendall County to Bexar County?
He is in our custody, and I'll say that there obviously is that opportunity that we would upgrade charges, but we're not there yet. We don't have that kind of evidence.
Has he started cooperating?
No.
As far as not cooperating, he's not talking at all. Have y'all tried questioning him?
Yes, and he still has not cooperated. We would love for him to give us some information because we're searching for her. The children have reached out, and we're cooperating with them to try to get as much help as we can. Obviously, these four kids miss their mom, and so we're doing everything we can.
Will you be deploying any volunteer search groups on top of what you're already doing?
Possibly again, yes. There's some search groups that we have that have such good technology, and that's gonna be priority. And so we've learned that they're very, very efficient. We have found things out here that don't pertain to this case that probably wouldn't have been found unless we had professional, assistance like those. We found a gun. I'll tell you that we found a gun. Nothing to do with this case. Very old, but these are professional, well-trained searchers, and that's why we want them for now.
Chief, Brad is facing a charge of assault and unlawful restraint. Do we know why his bonds amount are at $1 million each? Why is it so high?
Because it was a risk. These are very commonly risks that we find. He may be a danger to her, and so that's why the bond was so high.
Have you searched in the other properties?
I'm not going to comment on where, but I'll tell you, yes, we're searching other properties.
Did you get any hits on any of the warrants you have so far? Like, for example, the house?
Any hits on...
Anything that you were looking for? Did you find anything on those searches?
No, nothing yet on those searches.
Where exactly is Mr. Simpson now?
He's in our custody. I don't want to say exactly right now exactly where, and that's because we're trying to maintain the integrity of the case and also be very, very transparent with information that we can give you on behalf of the family and the community here and everybody. It's overwhelming how many people have reached out and are still reaching out about her whereabouts and how are the kids and all that. So we owe it to them to do absolutely everything. There have been cases when somebody is found alive, injured, in severe distress, hidden away, all of those things. We're not going to give up on that. So we'll continue to do updates and put out information as we can, like that clothing and other things. But at this point, that's where we're at.
So do you believe that Suzanne may be naked if you found her clothing?
Do we believe what?
That Suzanne might be naked if you find her without clothing, since you have that.
No, we don't have that clothing. We have a picture of her in that clothing. It's very possible that somebody saw her since Sunday or early Monday morning and said, man, I saw her in those clothes. She didn't look, very good. Y'all need to help us out with that. That's always a possibility, and that's why we're putting that picture out.
This is the picture that he was talking about. It is Suzanne leaving the Argyle Club after the party on Sunday night. They keep saying she was wearing black pumps, but as you can see in the photo, she's actually wearing tan or beige pumps. As you heard, Brad Simpson is not cooperating. It certainly sounds like he may have done something to Suzanne. And I cannot help but note the irony that this beautiful mother has the same name as Suzanne Morphew. Now, Suzanne Simpson is known as a very loving and reliable person, especially when it comes to her kids and her job. So for her not to be in contact with either one of those entities is highly unusual. Law enforcement began searching for Suzanne in a wooded area near the family home. The police are saying they've found 2 items of interest, but they would not disclose what those are. Law enforcement is also working to get search warrants for the family home, Brad's ranch, and for Suzanne's cell phone. One of Suzanne's friends, for more than 20 years, Heather Affleck, said this about Suzanne, quote, "We just want people to keep looking for her and pray for her family and her kids." Another friend named Camille Mendigo said that Suzanne is a great friend and a wonderful mom with no enemies. Everybody loves Suzanne. She's the kindest, sweetest person. I don't think anybody could say anything bad about her. So Brad and Suzanne have been married for 22 years. And according to Suzanne's mother, nothing like this has ever happened before. And I think she meant DV. But as we know from people like Nicole Simpson, women sometimes don't tell their parents about this stuff. Yesterday, loved ones held a vigil for Suzanne, and Suzanne's mother attended. Suzanne's mother was remarkably composed considering the situation. She seems very pragmatic. She's saying that she doesn't think Suzanne is still alive because if she were, she would have contacted her by now. Suzanne's family released a statement on Facebook. It reads, "As the search for Suzanne continues, we are immensely grateful for the extraordinary efforts of law enforcement, the Olmos Park Police, the Texas Department of Public Safety, the Texas Rangers, and many others have been vigilant and tireless in their efforts to find Suzanne. We want to extend a special thanks to Chief Fidel Villegas, Ranger Jesse Perez, and the DPS Victim Services Team for guiding us through this unimaginable ordeal and helping us protect and support Suzanne's children. We are also deeply thankful to the community and to everyone who has supported and continues to support the search. To all of you who have reached out with love and encouragement, please know that your support means the world to us. We will not stop until we find her. As you attend church this morning, please keep Suzanne's children in your prayers. We ask God to bless them and give us the strength to endure this painful and heartbreaking situation." End quote. Police are asking the public for tips on the location of Brad Simpson's vehicle, a 2019 dark-colored GMC Sierra pickup truck with Texas license plate MWD 7050. They have the truck, but they want to know if anybody saw the truck out driving on Sunday night, the Sunday that Suzanne went missing, October 6th. And with that, I'll bid you adieu until the next time on Bed Crime Stories. Hey, if you enjoyed this and my efforts to create it, please smash that like button, please subscribe, and leave me a comment. You might even want to leave a super thanks. I don't know. See you next time.